Abigail here from Evening Star Astrology. I hope you're all doing well, staying healthy, staying safe. Today I have another pick a card reading for you, and today's reading is all about August, predictions for the month, what you can expect, etc. I just want to make a quick disclaimer as well that these predictions are based on the path that you are currently on right now. You have free will. You are capable of changing your future if you choose to do so. These readings just simply tell you where you will continue to go, what is coming in the month ahead if you continue to progress on the path that you are currently going down or up or wherever your path is leading you. This reading is indicative of where you are right now. If there's something that you hear in this reading that you don't like or is maybe not something that you want to attract in August, you have the power to change that. This is just letting you know where you're going based on where you are right now. All right, so let's get into the readings. If you've never seen a pick a card reading before, hello, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. Basically, the way this is going to work, I'll explain how to pick the cards in just a second, but basically after you've picked your pile, you'll go down to the description box below and I will have a timestamp for each of the individual readings. Now for picking the cards, at this time, I invite all of you to take a couple of deep, grounding breaths. Centering yourself in the present moment, bringing your awareness and your intuition to the cards. And you can pick based on the number of the pile. If there's a pile that just seems to spark something in your intuition, or the crystals. And if you choose by crystals, I encourage you to pick not which one you think is the most attractive, but which one seems to be calling to you. Once you've picked the pile that is speaking to you, again, go down to the description box below where I'll have timestamps. Over here we have pile number 1 with a dragon stone, pile number 2 with red jasper, pile number 3 with amazonite, and pile number 4 with black tourmaline. Again, piles number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get on to the readings. I'll see you there. Hello, pile number 1. If you selected the cards with the dragon stone on top, this reading is for you. You guys have some really, really exciting stuff coming this August. So moving left to right, we start out with the King of Swords over here. And the King of Swords is very intellectual, very powerful, is able to take charge, make a decision quickly, and then act on it. I feel like there is some sort of decision that you're going to be making at the beginning of this month. Whether, it's like starting down a new career path, or maybe it's time to move, or start a new relationship. But whatever it is, I feel like there's some choice coming to you. And the best part is that you have all the tools that you need. You have all the knowledge you need to make the best possible informed decision. There's definitely going to be some situation at the beginning of the month where you will need to take charge. So with that, I encourage you to just remember your power. Remember that you have everything you need. The king can also kind of indicate endings or completion or the fullest expression of something. So this may also indicate the kind of like wrapping up of something from July, whatever that may be, which works perfectly here with the Ace of Pentacles. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the whole deck. And this card really indicates that new opportunities are coming your way, and the new opportunities that you embark on are going to ultimately work out for you. Good outcomes are coming, but during the month of August, I feel like you're going to be laying down the foundation for something that will develop later on, but you're kind of planting the seeds right now. And the Eight of Wands, much like the Ace of Pentacles, is really about good news. It also indicates travel and kind of changes, but obviously people can't really travel right now, especially if you're in the United States. So this is definitely more of like an internal good news is coming, and you're going to be able to develop and grow, whether that is in your professional life or in your personal life. The Pentacles and Wands tend to both be about careers and professional life. So this month, it definitely feels like you may be starting on some new project related to work or a new job of some sort. But whether, again, this could be personal or professional, whatever it is, you're going to start on something new this month, and it's going to work out very well for you. And good news is going to keep coming, and this will be really reassuring, I think, because again, like making a choice, taking charge, and then kind of like starting from square one can be a little bit daunting, especially given the current climate of the world. So the Eight of Wands kind of coming in and giving you like a little pat on the back, like you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing, here's how you can continue to move forward, is very reassuring. Now with the Magician, this card is also very auspicious, but I feel like it comes with a bit of warning given the context of the rest of the reading, because the Magician has all the tools laid out in front of it that it needs. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, the Magician has the Pentacles, the Cups, the Swords, and the Wands in front of them. You have all the elements you need. You have the tools at your disposal. The opportunity is there, but you need to put in some work. The new opportunity and the good news related to it, these are going to come, but they're going to require you to put in some work. And this is where we need to embody the King of Swords and use our tools most effectively. We have everything we need to, make this outcome work, but we have to make sure that we're using them in the right order or in the right way. And if we're not, then that can create challenges later on. So this card is also advising you to use your resources wisely. At the same time, this card is another auspicious indicator that things are going to happen for you. You just have to take action with them. Then we come to the Five of Swords, which puts a slightly sour spin on the positive and go you energy of these three cards, because the Five of Swords indicates conflicts and setbacks. So as you're kind of moving forward with these things, you get the opportunity, you keep going for it, you're using all your tools, you're taking action, you're getting things done. In contrast to all this forward motion of these three cards, the Five of Swords is kind of indicating that towards the end of the month, you may experience some setbacks, because as positive as these are, it's kind of unrealistic to expect that things are just going to go smoothly the entire way through. And the Five of Swords is kind of showing that there might be some bumps in the road. The Five of Swords also gives the advice to maintain your self-respect and know when to be done, because there are always going to be more opportunities. The Magician is full of opportunities and full of possibilities. And I think that this one does have the opportunity to turn out very well for you. And this could be the best opportunity you ever have. But the Five of Swords kind of wants you to check in. And if you are putting a lot of work into it and not getting very much in return, or if it's causing conflict in your life, if this is a professional opportunity and it's causing you to make some sacrifices with your home life that you're not okay with, that's important to check in with. And this is not necessarily saying you need to leave the situation entirely and completely give up on this, but this is more so to say, be careful and kind of check in and make sure that your resources are being used in an effective way and you're not overspending yourself. And also, this card wants to give you the advice to maintain your self-respect and kind of know your worth as well. Let's say that you are getting a promotion and you are given an insane amount of responsibilities and you're kind of overextending your resources and you're not getting fairly compensated. The Five of Swords kind of wants you to stand up for yourself and know when you need to assert yourself, and also know what you deserve and demand that, because you have a lot of knowledge. There's a reason that you are getting this new opportunity. You have all the skills you need. Make sure that you are being acknowledged for those. And to go with this reading, I have two oracle cards. We have Jupiter and Saturn, which is really interesting because the Five of Swords and Saturn have a similar energy of conflict and setbacks and challenges, whereas Jupiter is more closely aligned with the Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. What these two cards are really saying here is, as new opportunities come, embrace the good. Embrace the good things that are coming to you. Celebrate them, enjoy them. We don't live just to work and then die. And as you are embarking on these new opportunities, you're probably going to get a raise. You're probably going to have more resources available to you. Celebrate them and reward yourself. You don't need, life isn't just about saving money. You're earning it. You deserve to use it as well. Saturn kind of is here to encourage you to balance out the abundance that is coming, and then also, just like the Five of Swords, to kind of serve as a check on the rest of the good things that are coming to you, making sure that you're not losing sight of who you are, of your boundaries, of your needs. These two cards have opposing energies in astrology because Jupiter is about abundance and growth, and there are no boundaries with Jupiter. Whereas with Saturn, there are a lot of boundaries. It's about restriction and kind of just doing what's essential and what's necessary. These two cards are just here to remind you that it's okay to indulge, but make sure that you're doing it within reason. You know, not maxing out your credit card or overexerting yourself to the point of exhaustion. The flip side, of course, though, is don't restrict yourself too much, because as these new opportunities come, I feel like there's going to be a lot of work for you this month. Like, this is going to be a month where you're kind of grinding a bit. And with Saturn here, it's very easy to kind of get caught up in, like, I just have to keep working. Okay, I'll stay late at work tonight. I'll take on this extra task. Like, I want to make steps towards the future. I want to keep progressing, which is very awesome. And, you know, the energy of this cards, I believe that you do have the power to keep working and getting things done. But Jupiter is also saying, can we slow down and celebrate sometimes too? Like, we've made it this far. We've had like some sense of completion from the King of Swords. So can we celebrate what we've done so far? Life isn't just about rules and restrictions. We also need to celebrate the good times. And as you're working and putting in the effort, you know, these cards are really about getting things done, embarking on new journeys, and sometimes like there's a lot of work up front that needs to get done. So making sure that you're balancing. I think balance is a key word here as well with Jupiter and Saturn. Basically, the advice of these two cards is about balance, because new opportunities are coming to you, new work opportunities, potentially relationships, but I feel like this is definitely more a career-oriented reading. New things are coming to you. That's really exciting and really awesome. But Jupiter and Saturn are here to remind you to not get too caught up in the seriousness of it, of life, of work, of relationships. And then Jupiter also wants you to indulge, but within reason. All right, reading number 1. I think that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. If you selected the cards with the red jasper on top, this reading is for you. Okay, sorry, I had to straighten out the cards a little bit. So there is some exciting stuff here. First of all, we start off with the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups, I think that this interpretation of it is so darling. But the Six of Cups is really about childhood memories, nostalgia, kind of there's a certain innocence to it. And so for you, my dear viewer, this card indicates that during the month of August, you will feel connected to your roots a little bit more. Maybe there will be some healing, you know, with like family trauma or other issues in your roots or your history or heritage. You're going to kind of work through some of those issues in a way. Or you may just feel more connected to where you come from and maybe reconcile things with a family member who you've been estranged from. Or if you do have a good relationship with your family, you might just spend a lot of time with them reminiscing about when times were simpler. With this card, I do invite you to not get too caught up in the idea of what was, not, you know, just like sit there wishing that things could go back to normal. Just admiring the moments that have happened in the past for what they were without completely getting stuck into them. But the nostalgia here is just very pleasant. There's like a healing, harmonious, and loving aspect. So that's one element of your August that is very, very beautiful and peaceful. And next, moving to the King of Wands, I feel like you're going to come into your own during August, because we have the King of Wands, who is all about creative energy. He's very autonomous, very, very self-expressive. And of course, I'm using he pronouns for the king, but this applies to you regardless of your gender. But the King of Wands is really about kind of coming into your own and being confident and feeling comfortable expressing who you are without, trying to make yourself smaller to fit into a box or an ideal. And this could be related to the healing that you're doing with the Six of Cups. Maybe you're breaking out of the need to like be a certain way to match your family's ideal and instead just being who you truly are without judgment, without fear, just fully coming into your own and expressing yourself as you are. And then we have the Chariot. And I love the Chariot because it's really about guiding your own path. Like you are creating your own story during the month of August. And especially once you truly celebrate and are able to freely express yourself, that gives you so much more power when it comes to driving your life, to picking your path, where you want to go, and making choices that are really going to help you out. And because we have the Two of Pentacles over here, and as you can see, this person here is kind of balancing two ideas. Should I go with this or should I go with this? And then same with the Chariot. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, there are two sphinxes, I believe, in front of the person driving the chariot. One is black and one is white. So once you've come into your own, you're going to have to make some choices, and there will be consequences, good and or bad, on both sides. So having a good understanding of who you are, what you want, and then what comes with each choice that you make. And you get to decide, which is the wonderful part about the Chariot. Whatever happens is because you have made that choice. And then we have the Page of Cups, who is also a very positive card. This card signifies art and love and music, good company, good socializing. Just generally, this is a really positive and auspicious card. This reading is kind of telling me that this month you're going to be blossoming from the inside out. There's going to be like some internal work, some healing there, blossoming into your own, making choices, reaping the benefits of those choices. And of course, there is an element of balance, making sure that you're not extending yourself too far one way or the other, that you're kind of like the Chariot, you're like riding down the path and sticking to it. Not overindulging, but also not restricting yourself. Both the King of Wands and the Page of Cups indicate some element of celebration and acknowledgement and achievement for being who you are and being able to fully express that. The King can definitely indicate a certain completion, like the fullest expression of something. And so in the case of the King of Wands, this is definitely, the fullest expression of yourself, like unashamed, authentic, complete, and total expression. But the Two of Pentacles indicates that there are still going to be choices that need to be made at this time. You're still going to have to kind of balance out, negotiate, weigh the options. This is just one little completion, but the road continues. You're still going to have to keep going. And as you do, make sure to enjoy your life, because I feel like this month you're going to hit some sort of major milestone, some sort of breakthrough. If you're in therapy, like things might just suddenly make sense. If you've been journaling or doing some shadow work, this clarity might come to you then as well. And once you reach this clarity, make sure you celebrate. Make sure you acknowledge the importance and achievement that you have made. And at the same time, know that you must keep going forward. You must keep continuing. And once you have this strength, this self-reliance, this independence and autonomy, and, like all the wonderful things that these two cards are indicating, use those. Use those to make good decisions. Use those to continue the habits that have helped you reach this point. And go forward with confidence. I also have two oracle cards for you. And I don't think I could have picked these better if I had tried. Venus and the Page of Cups really do have similar energies. Venus is about celebration, good times, good people, good energy, as is the Page of Cups. These cards both indicate a celebration, kind of like treating yourself, rewards in some way. And so, like the King of Wands is saying, you've kind of reached some sort of milestone and you deserve to celebrate and embody the energy of Venus. the celebration, the partying, the indulgence into finer things that you might not normally participate in. And the Pluto card at the same time is also indicating some change. And it might even make more sense to have them like this because the change is leading you to this better life. The Six of Cups, there's definitely like a nostalgic element here, but kind of working through that and not getting stuck in the nostalgia and making changes to keep going forward. I feel like this month is going to feel very new for you. You might truly just become a new person, but there's definitely some transformational element here of coming into your own, stepping into your own power, and gaining some autonomy with being able to make your own choices and guide the course of your life. Pile number 2, I think that's all I have for you. I am really excited for your month ahead. I think August is going to be a really good one. I feel like there's a lot of growth and change coming your way, a lot of good celebrations with good times and good people. And you are guiding the course of your own life. And I think that that's going to become very apparent during the month of August. If you liked this reading, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe. That would really mean a lot to me. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you picked the cards with the Amazonite on top, this reading is for you. I feel like August is going to bring a lot of internal work for you. We start off with the Strength card over here, which often indicates a need for patience and reliance on our inner strength, kind of performing under pressure. I feel like there is some situation in your life right now that is just causing you so much stress, and you may feel like your values or your identity are being compromised in some way. But I feel like the Strength card is just kind of saying that you just kind of need to get through this and practice patience as much as you can, practice self-care. This card can also indicate a need for mediation, so you might be kind of caught in the middle of some sort of argument, and you kind of need to deal with multiple fiery personalities. So wherever there is conflict in your life during this time, this card is kind of calling on you and reminding you to gather your strength from within and perhaps try a more peaceful and patient approach rather than brute force. Because as we can see, the person in this reading, they're not holding the lion back in a very forceful way. It's a very gentle yet firm approach. And that's the kind of strength that you will need to embody during the month of August. Up next, we have the Knight of Cups. And one of the very literal and traditional meanings of this card is a proposal. So if you are currently dating someone, there may be a proposal in your future. If you are single, August may bring you a new relationship. But some less literal / traditional interpretations of this card are just being open to new opportunities. I feel like this conflict over here is causing a lot of stress, and new things might come. So during the month of August, I encourage you to stay open because this card definitely indicates that there will be good things, especially in the spheres of friends and romance, coming your way. Up next, we have the Nine of Wands, who, similar to the Strength card, is encouraging you to use your energy wisely. The Nine of Wands can indicate that we're feeling very defensive. We're always on the defense. We always feel like someone is out to get us. So we are purposely trying to protect ourselves. We're putting up a lot of walls and barriers. But during this month, obviously set boundaries where appropriate. And I think boundaries are very, very important, especially if you're in a situation where you feel like you are being compromised in some way, as indicated by the Strength card. Knowing where to put up your boundaries, but not using it as like a universal steadfast, like it's this way or it's not this way. Creating less black and white. Be smart and be critical when it comes to putting up your own boundaries. The same boundaries don't apply to every single relationship and every single person. So just making sure that you're kind of adapting your boundaries based on the situation. Because if you always have this hard wall up and you never let anything in, you're cutting yourself off from new opportunities that could be coming to you this month. So boundaries are very important, but make sure that they're actually effective and actually serving you, and rather than limiting you. Up next, we have the High Priestess, and earlier in the reading, I mentioned that I think that there's going to be a lot of internal work this month because there's some sort of mediation happening here. You're under pressure in one way or another with this card, and I feel like this is definitely an external circumstance, whether it's like a friendship or a job or a relationship that's causing you this stress and causing you to rely on your inner strength so much. That the High Priestess is kind of asking you to look inwards and look at what tools you have. And when I say tools, I mean like coping mechanisms and skills and self-care, basically like skills to develop yourself. How well are you using those? Check in with yourself. When's the last time that you actually practiced some self-care? And also, when was the last time that you allowed yourself to be vulnerable and be open to new opportunities? Because these cards show me that you have felt a need to like be very strong recently, like obviously like literally strong. And so the High Priestess is kind of saying it's okay to be soft, it's okay to be vulnerable, but let's go within and let's kind of analyze what's there. And you know, whatever the situation is, wherever this conflict is, it may not be unavoidable. You may still need to go to work every day. You may still need to be around these same people, like whether they're roommates, friends, family, whatever, who are causing this conflict for you. So the High Priestess is kind of asking you to find some sense of inner peace. And whether this is through some form of self-care, meditation, or developing your spiritual practice, that's another big indication of the High Priestess, using your internal resources, not only your inner strength, but also your intuition and your dreams, and kind of following those as well. And I actually said this just a minute ago, but the High Priestess can indicate that you may be developing your spiritual journey this month. You may be diving deeper into whatever your spiritual or religious practice is and kind of growing in that way. And I think that maybe the defensiveness of the Nine of Wands could be related to this because, you know, if others don't understand why you're getting into tarot or astrology or another religious or spiritual practice, you may feel the need to kind of like be defensive, set up barriers to protect yourself from getting hurt. With these cards, just understand that it's okay. Like whatever path you're on is the right path for you, and focus on making progress on your spiritual journey, whatever it is, and relying on your inner strength to kind of get you through the more challenging aspects. And then finally, we end with the Page of Swords over here. And the Page of Swords is kind of an interesting juxtaposition next to the High Priestess because High Priestess is all about relying on your intuition, while the Page of Swords is all about relying on your intelligence. And so I think that this is going to be a bit of a balancing act of what feels right versus what you know logically makes sense. But I think that these also work very well together because in order to develop your spiritual journey, you're going to have to do some learning. And I feel like there are going to be some big lessons coming to you this month in relationship to your spiritual journey, or in regards to like the conflicts in your life and kind of some clarity there of maybe this is a better way to approach this conflict, or this is a conflict that I can release myself from. Also, again, with the Page of Swords and the High Priestess working together, as you learn stuff, make sure that you are actually integrating it to your spiritual practice because these lessons, they may seem mind-blowing and interesting and fascinating and you might love learning about new things, but ultimately the information is kind of wasted if you don't actually integrate it into your life. So this card is kind of saying that you're going to be learning a lot. There are going to be a lot of messages coming through to you this month. Be open to them as they come and then work to integrate them into whether it's, you making a habit of something or actually living out this ideal. If you learn about a new spiritual practice, make sure that you actually add it to your daily spiritual routine instead of just thinking about it, if that makes sense. Like, make sure you're translating your thoughts into actions and integrating them to your life. I also have a couple of oracle cards for you. Ooh, okay, this is really interesting. I mean, obviously the sun and the moon are opposites. The moon and the high priestess are often related to each other because, the moon refers to the night, kind of the unseen, and the high priestess is about dreams and spirituality and also stuff that is unseen. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of inner work, a lot of emotional work, and spiritual work for you in this upcoming month. And then the sun and strength actually go together as well. And I feel like this month will kind of be a balancing act between your inner landscape and what your internal self needs. Like, what are your deep intrinsic needs? What do you need to feel safe and secure? And then also your sun of, are you getting the validation you need? Where are you shining through? Where do you need to kind of break down some of the boundaries to let yourself shine through, or increase the boundaries so that you can actually feel protected and safe? Also, if you're into astrology, it might be an interesting time to kind of dive in, with your spiritual practice and kind of look at your sun and moon and figure out how those energies are working together or how they could better work together. Reading number 3, I think that is all I have for you today. You are kind of the star of this month, I feel. Like there's a lot happening for you in your internal life. There is definitely some interpersonal stuff like this, the Knight of Cups is definitely indicating that new relationships and new romance might be coming your way. But ultimately, like these two planets in astrology are the most like you. And so I feel like there's a lot of internal work that needs to be done, kind of figuring out where you should be giving your strength and energy, where it's a waste of time and energy, and learning more about yourself, about what you like, what you don't like, your spiritual practice, and then integrating it and kind of, following out your dreams. If you liked this video, please give me a big thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. I'd love to have you here for another video. And yeah, that's all for today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, pile number 4. If you picked the cards with the black tourmaline on top, this is your reading. This is going to be a month for you because we start off over here with the Tower, which is very dramatic. One of the most infamous cards in the whole deck. Basically, at the beginning of this month, there is going to be some sort of upheaval, change, and ultimately some sense of loss. This could be a crumbling down of a job, a relationship, ideas that you've had, like if you've held a certain worldview for your whole life and all of a sudden you're introduced with new information. The Tower also signifies that. There's going to be some sense of great change that is outside of your control. Your circumstances are going to change, but ultimately they're going to be for the better because as you can see, we have 3 very, very positive cards at the end here. So the first little bit of the month, there's going to be some changes, and it will be uncomfortable. The Tower is never, an easygoing card. However, we have the Justice card here, and Justice kind of helps us to see things more clearly, seeing them as they are without trying to put a positive spin on it or a negative spin. Simply just seeing, saying, this is like this, not this is this, but it's good because, or this is this, but it's bad because. So whatever this event is, if you can truly walk away with an objective perspective on it, which of course is easier said than done, but instead of judging this and, attaching your own idea of it was good because of this, it was bad because of this, just simply observing this happened for this reason. And if this is a situation like you getting fired from work or losing a friendship, it can be really easy to kind of place the blame on others and feel very upset. And the Justice card kind of is here to serve as a reminder to put things into perspective. In the grand scheme of your life, this could be, a lower moment, but this might not be your lowest point. And just remembering, this happened for whatever reason, it just happened, and allowing yourself to move forward with grace. Because it's kind of funny with the Justice card, in the balance here, because we have a very tumultuous and challenging card here, and then it's balanced out by 3 very positive cards. The Three of Cups is all about celebration. This is like good times, good energy, very Venusian, like celebrations with friends and food and beverages, etc. The Three of Cups can also indicate a reunion of sorts. So if there was something that you were missing out on, like pre-tower, so if you were spending a lot of time at your job or spending a lot of time in a negative relationship or around people who weren't interested in like you becoming the best version of yourself, and this is a loss you experience at the beginning of the month, the Three of Cups is kind of attaching you back to what you used to enjoy, people you used to engage with, old like habits or hobbies that really spark joy for you. This card is kind of really giving me the energy that you're going to kind of get in touch with a version of yourself that you may have lost, and especially the positive parts of that. Like not like slipping back into old negative or toxic habits, rather kind of like, if you used to really enjoy painting or things that you did just because they brought you joy. And without and by that I just mean like things that like don't necessarily serve a purpose. It's not something that you're doing for work or to gain recognition. Simply doing things just because you enjoy them, especially in the company of others. Next we have the Queen of Wands, and this is another very positive card. The Queen of Wands has everything that she needs. And I said this in an earlier reading as well. I'm using she pronouns for the queens, but this applies to you regardless of your gender. The Queen of Wands is really just about like relying on your inner power and your inner strength. Sometimes after the Tower, we can feel a little bit shaken. We can feel a little bit weakened. And this card is kind of here to remind you that you have so much power within. You have everything you need. You just have to look for it, And I think with like the Three of Cups, alongside the Queen of Wands, I think getting in touch with things that bring you joy can help remind you of that strength. Because if you've been working really hard or you've been around people who are bringing you down, it can feel really hard to rely on yourself and simply do things for the joy of them. Queen of Wands also reminds us that it's okay to rely on others for support. And although it's good to give support in return, relationships aren't always 50-50 equal 100% of the time. Sometimes you need more support, sometimes you can give more support. And so during August, I feel like you're really going to strengthen the relationships in your life. And I feel like that is a huge benefit from this Tower situation. Whatever is falling apart, there's going to be more time for relationships in your life, both romantic relationships and friendships. And the Queen of Wands is saying that maybe you'll be the one who is giving more support to others, or maybe you will be the one who is relying on the support of others. But in any case, I feel like this is a very auspicious time for you to deepen relationships, deepen your hobbies, and kind of get more in touch with your creative side, which I feel like has been closed off before. The justice scales are bringing things back into balance. And while it may seem like there's a lot of good things this month, it's to counteract all the negative things that happened with the Tower situation and before the Tower fell. Finally, we get to the Four of Wands over here. And much like the Three of Cups, the Four of Wands indicates celebration, success, and like moving chronologically through the month. The beginning of August, group number 4, is going to be a little bit challenging for you. Something's going to come tumbling down, maybe go up in flames, quite literally. But there's going to be kind of a balancing out period afterwards. I feel like you've been in one extreme for a while, and so the Justice card is kind of bringing things back into balance. But since you were on such an extreme for, however long before the Tower fell, you're going to kind of swing to the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, these cards are kind of giving me the energy of, like, going out and partying and being, like, flirty after going through a breakup. Or really, really indulging in your time being unemployed after a rough job. So these cards are going to give you time to just exist, just to indulge in things that bring you joy, just celebrate, be around good friends, good people, good food, just have some fun. And then finally, with the Four of Swords, as I mentioned, this card is also about celebration, but it also indicates new things, specifically a new partner coming into your life, and also putting down roots in some way. Like I said, there's kind of some destruction at the beginning of the month. It balances out with this kind of like celebration phase, and then we level out at the end of the month. It's like, all right, we've had our fun. How can we actually integrate this in a way that's sustainable? So, partying every single night is not necessarily sustainable. So the Four of Wands is kind of saying, how can we continue to bring this joy and integrate it into our life in a way that will continue to be possible after this like period of celebration and joy? Because life requires balance. We can't always be enjoying the Three of Cups and Queen of Wands energy. So the Four of Wands wants to make sure that we're taking this joy and embracing it, because it is so important to have fun, but also putting down roots and kind of starting to like get back into like the swing of work or working on projects or relationships, but in some way kind of settling down roots, if that makes sense. To accompany these tarot cards, I have two oracle cards. I have Mercury and Mars, which is very interesting because Mars is, the god of war. I think they would make actually more sense like this. Mars is the god of war, of destruction. The Tower also brings destruction. There's definitely going to be some sense of fighting. And with the Tower card and Mars here is a very clear reminder of this. When things fall apart, sometimes you just need to let them fall apart. The Tower is really serving our best interest, and even though the destruction of the Tower and Mars can be really upsetting and rattling, it's uneasy to kind of go into new territory. Sometimes you just kind of need to ride the wave, and Mars is encouraging us to go forward with confidence and assurance in ourselves, and knowing that there are good things on the other side. We just have to deal with the situation first. The Mercury card in this reading is especially interesting because these three cards, the Cups and Wands, are very emotional and intuitive cards. They're not ruled like by logic like Mercury is. They're very much ruled by like what feels good in this moment, what feels right to me. Mercury is here to kind of be a little bit of like a vibe check and kind of, make sure, is this logically the best thing for us? Which I think is kind of what the Four of Wands is getting at. Like, it's fun to do this for a little while, but is there a way that we can like logically integrate this into the rest of our life? Or are we using this kind of partying, the celebration, this excessiveness to cover up something else? So Mercury here is kind of reminding you to keep a good head on your shoulders and not get caught up in trickery or lies or illusions, I think is what I'm getting at here. All right. Pile number 4, I think that is all I have for you today. Whatever is coming to you in August, it's going to be very powerful. I encourage you to just accept it with as much grace as you possibly can, and embracing your confidence and your independence and self-reliance when you can, because, to balance out the bad of the Tower, there's going to be really good things coming your way. August is going to be a fun month. I think that you're going to spend a lot of time building or rekindling relationships, getting back into hobbies that you've maybe let go of due to this situation. Just make sure you keep a good head on your shoulders and don't overdo it. All right, that's all for today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. That would really mean a lot to me. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.